Okay, here is Alki's seating chart that has been modified. I made two versions of this one. Alki by far has been the most tricky restaurant to sort of do this for because there are lots of curves in this restaurant. And so it's really hard to determine where tables go. Uh, this is one version that does not use barriers. It does not have as many seats as the one that does use barriers, obviously. But even the one with barriers does not take up a lot of seats. So let me walk you through this real quick. Pretty straightforward. Same rules about the host being outside, controlling seating sort of apply. Takeout and delivery is kind of difficult to plan for in this restaurant as well, although there's a lot of space. We could either set up takeout and delivery in our waiting area if we have people wait outside, which I think we'll want to for social distancing reasons. So we could set up some tables up here and set that up there. It would be real quick for them to pop in and pop out. Or we could utilize like this area here on the bar top and in the 40s. As far as the dining room goes, this is close, but it's about 5.5 feet, so good enough for government, I guess. This is a full 6 feet here. This is a tricky little corner here for the barrier. It's curved, and these people are real close. And so normally, or I think it would be best to pick 61, 63, and 65, and then do something here. Although if you do that, then you're forced to go a four top and a deuce here because you don't have room. So you pick up some seats, 4 additional seats because it's three tables of 4 versus 2, but you lose 2 seats here. So not that big of a deal. These are also really tight here. I actually used a compass and some graph paper to figure out like if we could make this work, and I think this works. So anyhow, this is what it would look like without barriers. Total count of 42 seats in the dining room and 22 seats in the bar. Just to walk you through the bar seating, this table 28 here is pushed way over. There's 6 feet distance here, so it's kind of a weird table, but it would be butted up almost against the 40s there. We could fit 2 people in there. This is also a little bit of a stretch here, 29. It would either be a 2 or a 3 or a 4 top, I mean, depending on what you could make work. But again, it's going to be kind of close to this entryway here. So moving things around to be able to get the 6 feet of distance. Unfortunately, we can have the 2 rounds in the corners and 2 4 tops. That's all that will really fit in here. This is 25 feet of run. You have to have 3 separate 6 feet distances, which gets you to 18, and these are about 4 feet each. So that's 26 feet. This is 25 feet. Again, close enough. Especially since I think people aren't sitting all the way at the edge of the table. Outside was another tricky area, believe it or not. Between 81 and 83, there are 6 feet of distance. And so that works out nicely. There's another 6 feet of distance here. There's another 5.5 feet of distance here, I should say. It's real close. This is also kind of close. You'll notice that this is a 2 top and not a 4 top. We'll have to unbolt that table and bolt it here, which I think is doable. And unfortunately, there's a lot of room here, but no other way to do that. In the other variation that I'm going to show you now, you'll see how I kind of tried to move that around. If we can make these tables so they're not fixed to the ground, we have a little bit more option, but not a lot. So that's 22 seats inside the bar, 18 seats on the patio. Let's look at this other variation here real quick. Let's see. Here it is. So in this variation, we pick up 3 more booths because we have barriers. We have to make these 2.5 feet tall by 4 feet long-ish barriers in between here. There's 4 of them. These have to be freestanding to some degree. I don't really know how we'll do it. We may need to like tape them down or provide some tabs on the bottom so that we can tape them down, because you have this nice flat space here that you can fix them to, but then it gets weird as the booth backs kind of butt up together towards the end here. Again, this is a really weird area here. It's 7 feet-ish if you measure the curve, and it needs to come up 2.5 feet from that. But it would need to be almost taped to that to make it work, which would look kind of tacky. And bear in mind that if you're going to do that, you need to add more material, so it'll be longer than 2.5 feet tall, however long you want to go down onto the booth back to secure it. But 2.5 feet tall gets it to the point where we're not going to be sneezing in people's faces. Also, Note over here, if we unbolt these tables and shove them over towards the fireplace, we can eke out maybe enough space to put another 2-top in, just getting creative out there. So that would allow us to pick up 2 seats outside. Bar remains the same, and we pick up an additional 12 seats inside. I'm sorry, 10 seats, because we're going to lose the 4 seats here. That goes down to 4 and 2 because we're now using this table there. So 10 seats, the dividers would help us pick up 10 seats. And then doing some funky stuff outside would allow us to pick up 2 more in the patio. Okay, that's it. Thank you.